They say it's a man-eater. A terrifying predator with razor-sharp fangs. It inspires horror movies and nightmares, and haunts some of the most treacherous seas on the planet. Few would do battle with this monster in its dark underworld.
I'm on!
6 feet long and weighing over 100 pounds. You don't want to take on a giant barracuda.
Ow! Look out!
But naturalist and extreme angler Andy Coetzee is about to do just that.
How can I compete against this eating machine?
Legends speak of a monster fish that prowls the African coast. A wolf of the sea. Infamous for attacking fishermen and divers, leaving them maimed and even dead. Extreme angler Andy Coetzee has heard the fish stories. Now he's determined to meet the giant barracuda face to face.
I've heard tales of legendary size fish, and they've got this huge, big, awesome array of teeth. There's a danger attached to it. That's what motivates me. Working and fishing in a dangerous environment. That's the threat, and that's the thrill.
Gabon, a country the size of Colorado, straddling the equator on the west coast of Africa. It's wild and rugged. Perfect big fish country. 85% of Gabon is covered by heavy rainforest. It's famous for its towering trees, elusive gorillas, and forest elephants. This is the deep, dark Africa of myths, where untamed jungles and legendary giants still exist. But where there is a wealth of resources, industry follows. Off the Gabon coastline, the seabed of the moody Atlantic Ocean is being tapped for oil. Almost 75% of Gabon's total export comes from its production of crude petroleum. This is a place where pristine, uninhabited jungle meets towering, rusty oil rigs. It's a place of extremes. A fitting habitat for an extreme fish.
If I do get bitten, it's a serious chance. I'm not going to get to hospital in time. There are no doctors out here.
His quest starts in Port Gentil, a hub of oil riggers and fishermen. Tales of massive barracuda are everywhere, but Andy wants to find out the truth. He's hooked up with Arnaud Mati, a specialist fishing guide who's mapped out the barracuda hotspots Andy's looking for. It's time to brave the murky depths of the giant barracuda's domain. Just along the coastline, in a big bay offshore, Andy sees what he's looking for. The roiling green water of the wild west coast is teeming with fish.
There's absolutely amazing stuff. There's fish all over the place. When there's little fish, there's big fish. Has to be.
The ocean is boiling with baitfish. It's a good sign. They usually run like this when there's a big predator on their tails. And he's definitely in the right spot. Below the turmoil, it looks calmer. But the hunted don't know which way to swim. They're surrounded by hungry, prowling killers. the mighty barracudas scythe through the water column, stalking their prey methodically, saving energy for the short burst of speed that will ambush their targets, if they like what they see.
I'm trying to simulate what it looks like, and that's the typical size baitfish that was being harassed here. Normally I'd fish single hooks, but with barracuda they've got this fearsome array of teeth, and the way they also bite the prey is that they've got this underslung jaw, and they tend to bite like this. With a single hook you don't hook up as often, so these big trebles hopefully will do the trick.
A mean-looking lure for a mean-looking fish. Andy's using an 80-pound line and a heavy stand-up rig that can land a fish up to 330 pounds. He's got all the right tackle, but the fish aren't taking the bait. Time to test some deeper waters. He's not the only fisherman out here.
Can you open up there, please?
Yeah.
And he's eager to find out what the locals are catching. What he sees is very promising.
Look at that barracuda. Man, that's a real big barracuda. Man. This thing must weigh 70 pounds, 75 pounds. Big fish.
That's double the size of any barracuda Andy's ever seen, and only 2 miles from where he's been fishing.
Look at those teeth. 2 rows of teeth going down there. Razor sharp. Razor sharp teeth. This fish has bitten you before.
It bite you. It's not good. When it bite you, you have a problem.
Aha, big problem.
Yeah, big problem.
Look at that. Those are like razor blades. Look at that. Just touch these things, and seems like they've got an anticoagulant, so that it continually bleeds. Look at that. Hopefully I'll get lucky like these guys do. Now look at that. Slice through you in no time.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
This is what he came here for. But he wants to meet this monster fish alive.
It terrifies me in a sense. Imagine catching a fish that size, and it's just mauled everything I've thrown at it. Now I've got to pull it on board. Ooh, you're gonna have to be very careful.
Fueled with anticipation, Andy heads off on a hunch. Human development hasn't deterred the barracuda. Wily opportunists, they claim the rusty wrecks and use them to ambush prey.
There's an old barge that ran aground here, but this is perfect structure for barracuda. I've got this feeling that this is where they would hang out. Barracuda, being ambush predators, they can dart off. They need somewhere to hide or just to hang motionless in the water column. But they need something that's going to attract baitfish. So either some structure or a reef or something where the baitfish will be coming along, cruising along to feed, and then they'll dart out and just slice them. I'm sure there's big sharks hanging out here, big groupers, big barracuda.
If he casts really close to the barge, maybe a giant will jump out and grab his lure.
Bam! Now I'm gonna have to hang on. Ow, go on. Bang! Another chase. Had a pull. Why did it come off? I just snatched at it. Didn't get it.
But casting too close to jagged metal could spell big trouble.
Man, I overcasted And I got stuck on the structure, just trying to get it loose. I can see my lure on the edge there. Hopefully I'll be able to flick it loose.
While the rusting hulk is a predator ambush zone, it's also as treacherous as an iceberg.
This is really dangerous what we're doing now. There's structure all over here.
Andy's in the danger zone. If he falls or sinks the boat here, there's a good chance he'll be the bait. Andy's hooked up on a wreck in a minefield of rusty metal.
I can see my lure caught it. There we go. It's loose. Hey. I don't want to sink the boat here. I'll get eaten by barracuda and shark here, that's for sure. Well, whilst I'm here, why don't I just keep casting? It just feels so fishy. I'm surprised I haven't had any big smashes.
Andy's hunch is right. Below him, the water is teeming with fish. Jack Crevalles. Powerful predators in their own right. But still, no sign of a giant barracuda. Andy heads home empty-handed. A grueling first day at sea with little reward.
Had a couple of small chases, and that's it. Might be because it's close to Port Gentil that it gets fished heavily. It's such superb structure. Anyway, a little disappointing. Not a little disappointing. F***ing disappointing. I was shivering with anticipation. I really thought I'd go tight. Squat.
Day 2, and Andy tries a different tack. But this plan depends on careful timing. Today, he takes the river route. The Agwe River, the 4th largest in Africa, empties its massive volume of water into the Atlantic Ocean, just south of Port Gentil. River mouths are notorious hunting grounds for large predatory fish, and that's where Andy's heading. He has limited time to test his theory. The only access to the mouth is under a massive bridge construction while the tide is low. Where fresh water disgorges into the ocean, it mingles with the salt water into a murky soup. Perfect conditions for barracuda to ambush prey.
Really nice color line here from this estuary running out, the seawater pushing in, and this distinct barrier. An ideal spot for barracuda, I reckon. I'm pulling a Rapala along the edge here, because I would suspect that some of these bait fish will be hanging on this edge here. And any predator will be charging in from either side, either using the dark water as cover, but it's a distinct line. Hey, fish on!
Andy's taken by surprise. A massive fish is running with his lure.
Yes, please! Eyeball!
It's a West African tarpon, one of the most prized sport fish on the planet. It's Andy's first time fishing in their territory.
First tarpon, it jumped, and it's now hanging in the bottom here. Don't really know how big it is, but it looks like a fair-sized fish. My first tarpon ever, man. Unbelievable. Now it's hanging under the boat here, giving me backache. Hey, beautiful fish. Look at that thing. Look at that big tail. Eyeball.
Also known as silver kings, Their fight and stamina is legendary.
He's slack.
Andy needs help if he's going to land this fish unharmed. Putting its hefty weight onto a boat can fatally damage its internal organs. It's better to keep this prize in the water.
I'm gonna try and get this hook out of his mouth.
Tarpon have massive, bony jaws. Once the hook is set, it's hard to remove.
Just cut the nylon. That's okay, we'll get it up. Here we go. Look at that. Not quite the giant I was looking for in terms of barracuda, but a very, very nice fish in any case. And it astounds me that they can go to 250 pounds. I just can't get my head around that. I mean, I'm looking for barracuda that go 100 pounds maybe. And this thing is gonna be 250 pounds. This one weighs probably in the region of 70, 80 pounds. Right, you going back.
That's good.
There we go.
There she goes.
The river mouth did not disappoint. For most people, an 80-pound tarpon would be the fish of a lifetime. But it's not the giant Andy's after. And now, he's in deep water.
It's high tide this afternoon, and I don't know if we're going to get through here. That gap there, we're never going to get the boat underneath it. Anyway, we'll see. We'll have a look. Otherwise, we've got a very bumpy ride around for 3 hours. Come on in. Okay, Arno, where do you think we're going to go? This side?
I think we're going to use the wind to drift us in.
It's a close call. The concrete jungle is closing in on the barracuda's habitat. The only thing predictable about fishing is that nothing is predictable. Andy's tried the obvious places. He's fished in open water. He's cast around the structure of a wreck and trolled the murky water at the river mouth. But he still hasn't hooked a giant barracuda. Today, he's going out on a limb. If barracuda use rusty metal as artificial reefs, this oil rig should be perfect hunting territory. And if they won't come to him, he'll go to them.
A little bit nervous going down here now because I've heard stories of these big barracuda biting divers and spear fishermen. So I must say that I'm a little nervous going down there. A few butterflies in my stomach. So if you get a big barracuda down there, he might come and see me. Something flash on me or something that might trigger that attack mode, so that it might come charging into me. So I'm a little nervous, I can tell you that right now.
It's a risk. He's diving into the unknown with one of the most aggressive fish on the planet. Andy's diving in water that looks like pea soup. He's got about 3 feet of visibility, and he's surrounded by jagged, rusty metal. All the hallmarks of treacherous diving conditions. It's the perfect ambush zone for massive predatory fish. The water is eerily deserted. As he turns away from the rig, he sees it. A torpedo-shaped fish stalking him Andy's 40 feet deep in gloomy water and face to face with a 70-pound barracuda. It stands its ground, curious about the interloper and its territory. Giant barracuda are at the top of the food chain. They have very few enemies apart from man. Andy keeps his distance. This is a stalemate.
Man, I saw a huge barracuda down there. It opens its mouth and it comes in as a look. My heart was revving. I was a little worried. Man. Hey, fantastic. Fantastic.
Andy's seen the fish he's after. But he'll need a strong arsenal if he's going to do battle with a giant barracuda. These fish take no prisoners.
These giant barracuda that live in the west coast of Africa are like rabid dogs. Fishing friends have told me stories of when they bring them up to the side, they jump into the boat sometimes, snapping and biting everywhere. When they pull the lures out, they've mauled lures. They've just trashed everything.
Close to Andy's dive site is the Bay of Cap Lopez. With deep rifts in the seabed and strong currents, it's notorious for big barracuda. The tide is turning. The perfect opportunity for hungry predators to hunt the murky tide line. That's where Andy's lure is going.
Come on! Yeah. Hey! Here comes on the surface. Yeah. Wasky doesn't jump into the boat.
There we go. Barracuda.
West African barracuda, yes!
See that? That thing will bite us.
Almost had to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Hey, these things are dangerous, man. That thing jumped out and was going to
So I
bite
was
me
looking
back.
straight down and straight
It
there.
was coming straight up here.
Just eat
Look at the gunnel in the way, man. Hey, Mr. Barracuda.
Barracuda have been known to jump into boats and even impale people with their spear-shaped jaws. Andy needs to wait until this one tires out.
Hey, this is the dangerous part. Hey.
When I get that tail down and the head up, I
Yeah.
don't go anywhere. Get a chainsaw on an elastic band.
Yeah. It's still too green.
It's very green.
You're gonna jump into this boat and bite us to pieces. Yeah, Mr. Barracuda. Very wary of you. I don't want to lose any
Look
fingers.
at that eye looking at us.
Yeah,
It's sizing
is
us
this sizing us up?
up. Okay, I'm ready when you are, Andy.
Okay. Is that his tail? Up. This is the dangerous part.
Big fish, Andy.
Nice fish.
It's a great catch. 4 feet long and 55 pounds of predatory muscle.
Look at that mouth. Proper mouth. That thing will slice through flesh and bone like a hot knife through butter. Look at that huge big eye. Man, that's a machine, this thing. Look at that tail. Look at that thing. That is a powerful machine. That's just to ambush its prey. Man. Right. You're going back. Just gonna get him going.
There we go.
Andy's finally met the fangfish up close. A giant built to kill, with huge eyes to seek out prey, and over 100 teeth designed to shred and slice. It's like a piranha on steroids. Its torpedo-shaped body can reach up to 6 feet, with a massive tail that propels it through the water at speeds of up to 25 miles per hour. Its razor-sharp fangs cause massive blood loss and can rip a man to shreds. But not today. Both Fish and Andy part unscathed. It's a decent-sized barracuda, but he knows they get bigger. To get closer to the giant specimen he's after, he heads away from civilization, deeper into their wild habitat. Andy's on the hunt for giant barracuda, and it's time for a new game plan.
Having tried to fish for the barracuda offshore around the oil rigs and things, I wasn't very successful. And so now the motivation is to come into this more pristine environment, uncover these secrets. What are they doing here in the jungles?
It's spawning season, the time of year when massive females head out of the ocean and into calm and shallow estuaries to lay their eggs.
This is it.
Loango National Park, Gabon. 598 square miles of rainforest and lake systems. Reputed to be the breeding grounds of the giant barracuda, this maze of lagoons will be Andy's focus area.
It's a huge magnet, it's a huge attraction for me to try and uncover where these females are being drawn to. This is their magnet. They're being drawn into these estuaries because they're uncontaminated, because they're still pristine.
This is a place of vast waterscapes and rare wildlife. Primal African jungle, untouched by time. The 85 square miles of Iguela Lagoon is a rich nursery for juvenile fish. It's the perfect breeding ground for giant barracuda to spawn their next generation. This is where Andy hopes to meet his monster fish. He'll need to be wary. There are many monsters in this jungle. The giant barracuda infiltrates the same habitat through this. A wide and turbulent channel where the pristine Iguela Lagoon meets the oil-rich Atlantic Ocean. This is the ancient migratory route that draws the barracuda from the oceans inland towards their breeding grounds. Andy's ready for them.
If there are any giant barracuda, this is where they've got to come past. This is like the toll gate. They've got to all come past here to get into this estuary system.
He casts straight into the mouth to test his theory.
Oh, missed it! That was a barracuda like that. This is like mainlining, man. Oh, man, I love this.
The surface floor is mimicking an injured fish struggling against the current. Easy prey for a hungry predator.
Hey! It's so wonderful to see them take them on the surface.
He's seen enough to satisfy him. Confident that the barracuda are on the move into the lagoons, Andy wastes no time. With local fishing guide Jonas Mburo, he heads straight to their destination. These are the protected waters where he'll target a giant.
Come on! Got a small pull. Oh man, look at this. These greedy little barracuda. Now this is what fascinates me with these fish. Ay, that's the dangerous part. Look at this. Look at that lure in comparison to the size of fish. It's probably a third, if not half, close to half of the size. And it's ready to eat it. Amazing predator. Even at this size, it's eating a fish half its size. Unbelievable. Right, mister, I'm gonna put you back so you can survive to grow up to be big. It just amazes me that it just disappears. It becomes completely invisible. I can hardly see this fish. Look at it. Invisible. Gone. The vanishing barracuda, just gone.
Fishing is all about perseverance.
Hey, it's on, I'm on! Ah! Jumping out there.
A rubber band with a chainsaw attached. This fish has the technique down.
Hey, jumping. Yeah, nice size one. Probably 30 pounds. Ah. Here it comes. There we go. Oh, look out! This is the danger. This is the danger.
Andy's at the sharp end of a 30-pound barracuda.
This is what I've been worried about. Hey. This is the danger.
It's a whirlwind of teeth and hooks.
This is what I've been worried about. Now, got to be very, very careful. That thing jumped. Oh! This is why I love fishing. This is why I love fishing. Now, Mr. Barracuda. Okay, I know you're angry. Just take it easy. That could have easily gone very, very wrong. All right, Mr. Barracuda. Your round. That was your round. Hey! Right, I'm just going to let him calm down a bit. I'm going to calm my nerves down as well. Man, that thing was just smashing and biting everywhere. Unbelievable. Some fish jump, some fish don't. Still trying to jump. Okay. All right. Yeah. You're very aggro. Are you not? Look at you. Wild. Are you wild? Yeah. Just gonna get these hooks out. Okay. Look at this. Crazy barracuda. Crazy. Okay. This is chaotic. Right, you're going straight back into the water. I've had enough of you on this boat. This is absolutely crazy. Come on. May you fare well. You're round. I lost that one.
That was a 30-pounder. Imagine the damage a 100-pound barracuda could do. But that's not going to stop him trying to get one.
Yes, please. Come to me. Go on. Aye. Pulling some line. Oh, man. Come on. Are you coming? Yay, nice little jump. Hey, go on.
Andy's giant continues to elude him.
Wow, this thing keeps coming off. Disappointing. Big fish. Big fish. These theories I had with trying to catch barracuda, I've hooked a few. I've spent hours, countless hours, just pulling lures, different depths. Can't seem to get into their heads. I was trying to figure out, is it low light, rough water, in the sea, in the estuary? Just trying to get into their heads. I'm struggling here. Just trying to decode them.
Some say it's the moon. Some the tides. Others say it's the weather. Fishing theories are a dime a dozen. Usually, it's just down to good luck and perseverance. Andy plugs away. His theory sticks to the law of averages. On average, he's cast 630 times per barracuda he's landed. Each cast, he turns his reel 50 times to retrieve the lure. That's 31,500 reels per fish. He's mastered the perseverance. Now, he's due some luck.
Hey, come on, head out, big bull. This is the one. This is the one.
Andy's doing battle with a giant barracuda, and it feels like a monster.
It's pulling line. Yeah.
There's 1,500 feet of line on this reel, and it's running out fast. It's a beast of a fish, so strong it's towing the boat.
Just get a little nervous when it gets close to the boat.
Andy doesn't want a rematch with an even bigger fish jumping in his boat.
This is why I came here, to catch barracuda like this. I'm just bringing it closer to the surface here. Look at that, yeah. Getting quite hefty there. Ooh. A little bit of a drama here. The line is wound around his head. When it jumped, it must have wrapped the line. I might have to get to the side here to be able to release this one. Oh yeah, it's got line wrapped all around it. I'm just gonna hook it. I just want to hook this one in the mouth so I can release this thing properly, because this is gonna not work too well. Right. Look at this thing. Able. This is the dangerous part now. This thing's wrapping itself. No man. No man, Mr. Fish. This is dangerous. think we got to decide. I'm going to keep this Rapala in its mouth just so I can try and restrain it somewhat. I'm just pulling this thing so the water flow can go over its mouth, over its gills. That's how fish absorb the dissolved oxygen in the water, is that the water has to flow over its gills. And so it's pointless putting it onto the deck. So we just put it slowly, and this will ensure its best chance of survival here. I know it's a little bit of a drama to get to the side, but I need to do this. Right, this is definitely the biggest fish so far. There we go. That mouth is very bony. Now I'm at the business end of this barracuda. I can't say that I'm very comfortable holding it like this. Jonas, come and help me out, please. My back is sore. This is a big, heavy fish. Hold there. Wait. That's 61 inches, which is about 5 foot, just over 5 feet. Thanks. Must weigh at least 70 pounds. Okay, Jonas, merci. Thank you. That's a big chunky fish, big female, coming to spawn in this estuary. Beautiful, back in the water. I just want to show you its big mouth. Look at that. That thing is a proper mouth. Rows and rows of razor sharp teeth. This is a swimming scalpel. She's not trying to bite me right now. She's a little stressed. There you go, Mom. There you go. Getting much stronger already. Fare thee well.
This is the legendary fish of Gabon's moody waters. A ferocious predator and a seasoned survivor. A lively adversary with a deadly attitude. A fangfish that haunts the African coast. The legendary giant barracuda.